With the off-season drawing to a close, I'm finally getting into the GOAT discussion of every role, despite being a little bit late. I'll be trying to rank the best 5 flex supports across Overwatch's history in a similar fashion of Plat Chat. I say we just hop into it. I am very ready to be roasted for my takes. Number 5 is Shu. Shu is insane. We saw how much he was able to carry Gladiators across the finish line not just once, but twice in the Countdown Cup. And this isn't recency bias either. He's been consistently cracked since he came to the league, having crazy clutch sweeps and being a key component in Guangzhou's success in 2020, not to mention his insane play in 2021. He's easily a top 5 support, at least individually since he came into the league. But why is he so low? Well, mostly because the people above him are so absurdly cracked, but also because Guangzhou didn't perform so hot in Season 2 and his pre-Overwatch League career wasn't the greatest. He was on the horrifically bad Flash Lux team that Fleta had to hard carry literally every game, and his team was fairly middling in contenders. But he's absolutely incredible. Flex support is just so competitive. Number 4, this is going to cause a little bit of molding, but Isayaki. I feel like he's being overrated a bit on the best of all time lists. This isn't a best flex support of Season 4, guys. He was incredible in Season 4, for sure. And probably the best flex support in the league. But he did have fierce competition from Fielder and Shu. But we need to look at his time before Season 4 as well. He was on VMAX and Fox's, two incredibly mediocre team with poor Apex and Contenders results before being picked up by the Los Angeles Valiant. He proceeded to not play a single game for the Valiant, who had Kareev as their starter. And in Season 2, he finally played flex support as the moon marijuana was kicking in regarding Kareev, where the team went 3-11 to start this season. Now, he was a diamond in the rough on that team, and they did have a bit of a resurgence in stages 3 and 4. However, in Season 4, he wasn't even on the team. He was traded to Shanghai, where he continued to rot on the bench. And he was amazing in Season 3 as well. Shanghai was completely dominant, but quite frankly, statistically, even then he was a bit underwhelming, easily behind Alarm, Violet, and even Jonak and a few other supports. He was crazy though, and dominant in Season 4. I have to put him on the list just due to the fact that he's an Overwatch League champion and how many titles he's won throughout his time here. But putting him in the top 3 of all time when his pre-Shanghai days were very bad is a bit much. Number 3 is Jonak. He has an absurdly good legacy, but a few drawbacks that do hurt him. I even thought about taking him off the list, but I just had to give the Season 1 MVP a good spot. His repertoire, in a nutshell: Season 1 MVP, hard carries a flex support on the best team in the league in Season 1, top 3 flex support at minimum in Season 2, and still putting up top-tier performances, especially in the Ana and Zenyatta, despite his team being middling the past 2 seasons. But he does definitely have drawbacks. He can be over-aggressive, and his poor Baptiste play, I feel, did hold New York back a bit. It's undeniable that he has arguably the greatest legacy of any flex support ever, and is the only player to play all games for a team throughout every season, and still put up phenomenal stats even on middling teams. Come back soon, Jonak. We miss you. And fuck you, Avast, for putting him at 10. Number 2 is Alarm. He's astounding, no doubt about it. By far the Rookie of the Year in 2020, had an astounding 2021 year where he was 3 votes away from overtaking Lee Jae-gon as the 4th role star, has a dominant history in Contenders where he won 4 seasons in the Atlanta Showdown in dominant fashion. And just statistically and just through the eye test, he's absolutely incredible. Statistically in the top 3 at every single flex support in 2020. And could even pull out a decent brig, and he continued to perform extremely well at the highest level even while Philadelphia was struggling. He's absolutely incredible, and he would probably be number 1 if the dumb age limit stopped him from coming to the league. Rest in peace. Then, number 1 is, you guessed it, Violet. This guy. People are pretty low on him and frankly slandering him a little bit after what people perceive as a bad season for him. But even in Season 4, he was still above average. The shock were not bad, and I'd argue he was on the lower end of a 5 best flex supports in Season 4 list. At least pushing it. Then he was absolutely unbelievable in Seasons 2 and 3. putting up genuine carry performances multiple times and essentially being a third DPS while simultaneously pumping out insane heals. There was a long span of time in Season 3 where people were saying he was the GOAT of Overwatch as a whole. He was arguably the best player on the best team for 2 seasons straight. He was absolutely absurd. He can be a bit over-aggressive, but with his mechanics and with a solid main support to back him up, it does actually benefit the team for the most part, even though it did get punished a bit, especially last year. Also, I've heard a lot of people saying that Violet is bad at Moira and Ana. His Moira is well above average. I think it's actually one of the best in the league, and he's very crazy with it. And Ana is solid. He rivaled Twilight and Jonak in Season 2, but he just hasn't had to pull it out in the past due to the shock structure and always subbing in Twilight, who is, admittedly, better than him on the Ana. There are very few arguments not to put him here. Probably the best flex support in Seasons 2 and 3, pushing, if not at the lower end of a top 5 flex supports in Season 4 list. He's just incredible, and it's hard to bet against the guy if there's a hard carry flex support meta in Overwatch 2. As for some honorable mentions, Fielder is an incredibly balanced flex support, but he hasn't really been in the league long enough and frankly hasn't had an explosive season the way Alarm has. Twilight also deserves a shout, but has been benched and overshadowed by Violet for most of his career, unfortunately. I'm hoping he can stand out more in Season 5 now that he has a dedicated starting spot. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more. I upload almost daily Overwatch League content, and I'm trying to hit 1,000 subs by the end of Season 5, so any subscription helps greatly. Thanks.